Should we change the MVP award to the MVQ award? Because it seems like it always goes to quarterbacks. It doesn't necessarily seem like it goes to the most valuable player. It just seems like it goes to the quarterback position now, which I'm not a big fan of. I would much rather it, get spread around to who we think produced the most for their team that year. But who do you have as the top runner for your MVP race this year? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beardzone Sports Talk. My name is David. I got Carlos with me, and if you are a football fan in the state of Florida, this is the podcast for you. So do us a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. Today is going to be a little bit of a different day. We have our mid-season awards episode. This episode, it falls at the perfect time. Carlos, your Dolphins dropped the ball on Thursday night. They were who we thought they were, and the Ravens exposed them there on Thursday night. My Bucks are off on the bye week, so we thought, you know what, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a mid-season award show for the people and kind of give our predictions about what we think is going to happen for the remainder of the year. So, Carlos, let's dive right into it. The talk of the town is, MVP. We have talks of, well, Patrick Mahomes is starting to look like his, old MVP self again. We have Daniel Jones from Indianapolis, who would have thought that we were going to be talking about this come week 9 this year? But people are talking about him winning the MVP. Up until about 2 weeks ago, Baker Mayfield was a pretty hot name there for the MVP candidate race. So, Carlos, I want to ask you, should we change the MVP award to the MVQ award? Because it seems like it always goes to quarterbacks. It doesn't necessarily seem like it goes to the most valuable player. It just seems like it goes to the quarterback position now, which I'm not a big fan of. I would much rather it, get spread around to who we think produced the most for their team that year. But who do you have as the top runner for your MVP race this year?
It's tough because you want to, you're right. It's normally a quarterback, but let's be honest, man. The quarterback is the most valuable player on the football team. Like, if you got a good one, they go down. Most likely your season's going down with it. So it is a tough one for me. Um, man, you know what? I'm going to go outside the box. I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor, man. This guy's on pace to go 2,000 yards, 20 plus touchdowns. If he's not running the ball the way he is, I don't think Danny Dimes has the season he's having. It's the best offense in football. This guy, when healthy, he's one of the best, man. He catches, he runs, he does everything you need. But right now he's explosive. So I'm going to go Taylor.
Yeah, that is someone who I was looking at as well. We actually saw it today earlier in the Pittsburgh versus Colts game. They shut him down, and really, the game was on Daniel Jones's shoulder. And although he didn't have a bad game, they lost the game. So
Yeah.
that was a game that everyone was expecting them to win, but the Steelers showed up and they ended up losing. They held Jonathan Taylor to, man, I believe it was for sure under 100 yards. I believe it was even probably under
No,
like 70 or so.
yeah, he only had 45 yards today, but
Yeah.
you see, like, if he's not doing Jonathan Taylor things, the rest of the offense. But Danny Dimes had a big game. They did throw the ball 50 times, but they, yeah, he's just my guy, man. This guy, you don't see too many 2K seasons and 25 plus touchdowns, and he's on pace to do that.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely was someone who I was looking at for the MVP when we were getting up to this episode. Carlos, I'm kind of torn between two players right now, and because I want to go outside of the box, right? I don't want to say Patrick Mahomes because at the end of the day, they're 5-4 right now, and I think that the team who, if you're an MVP, your team is doing well, right? Your team is sitting on top of the division. Your team is definitely a playoff contender, probably even a Super Bowl contender by this part of the of the season. So I'm looking here, and I'm looking at the quarterback position because really there's no one else outside of Jonathan Taylor who is having the year that he is having outside of the quarterback position. And I'm looking here at the quarterback position, and there is a guy who, man, he's been around the league for quite a while. And his team is sitting on top of their division right now at 6-2, and that's Matthew Stafford. The guy is having a absolutely phenomenal career, or career. He has had a phenomenal career, but a phenomenal year out there in Los Angeles. He is leading the league right now in touchdowns, 17, only thrown 2 interceptions, and he has 1,800 passing yards. So he's top. I want to say he's top five in passing yards right now. No, he's number 7 in passing yards.
Well, he
So
doesn't. Like,
17.
what today's stats he is, and he's got 21 touchdowns. With
Okay, so then
today's game, yeah, he's having
there
a
you
great
go. So
year.
yeah, sorry. So the stats that I'm looking at must not be updated right now. But he's having a phenomenal year, and they're sitting on top of their division. They are a Super Bowl favorite right now here in the NFC. They're going to be one of those teams that are probably going to be here at the end of the year. And he just got his favorite target back in Puka, and they they didn't miss a single beat. So
Mm-hmm.
I think Matthew Stafford is someone who we should start considering and throwing in the name there for MVP, and that is my MVP pick. Carlos, let's go ahead and move on to both the offensive and defensive rookie of the year candidates. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kick off. I'm going to get a lot of hate for my picks here. I don't think that I'm going to get a lot of hate for the offensive rookie of the year, in my opinion. But I think the defensive one is going to be probably the comments shall be happy to roast me there. But for my offensive rookie of the year, it is none other than Emeka Ibuka. There's really no other wide receiver who is doing what he, or no other rookie on the offensive side of the ball that is doing what he is doing. He is currently number 8 in the league in passing or in receiving yards, and he's been injured really the past like 2 or 3 weeks with the hamstring injury. Has 5 touchdowns, and he's making a difference here on this offense with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin being out. He is stepping into the role. He's filling in huge shoes here in Tampa Bay, and he's doing a phenomenal job. And the number 19 overall pick, Emeka Ibuka, is stepping into the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't see anybody else can really claim that award from him up to this point.
No, it's a tough one because he's a guy who landed in like a perfect situation. I'm gonna go a little bit different just because Mecca is that number one choice, and I think he's gonna end up winning barring any injury. But a guy I think that deserves a lot of praise is Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart is he's doing something much. I think he's taking on a load that a Mecca doesn't have. I will say with Dart, Dart has the city of New York. Mecca doesn't have any pressure, brother. He's at he's had Evans, Godwin. He's in Tampa. He's got Baker Mayfield. Well, Bucky's been out, but he's got a good. He had a good team around him. He still does. But Jackson Dart has the city of New York, and for this guy to bring life into that franchise and do what he's doing, he's not having a bad year. He's got 10 touchdowns, three interceptions so far. He's thrown for the stats aren't like crazy, but he's doing it with virtually nothing. He gets Malik Neighbors gone, Cam Scatterbo's gone now. Like the offensive line is, it's New York, but this is a guy who's revitalizing a franchise, and I think playing in the pressure of New York, he's doing a great job.
You know what? I don't hate that pick at all. And I mean, honestly, there was a teammate of Jackson Dart and Cam Scatabo there, and until he had that horrible injury, man, he was one of the top picks as well. But I think what Jackson Dart is doing there in New York is definitely something that the Giants fans should celebrate. I loved
Yep.
it, man. I
Wasn't
loved I love the video of Russell Wilson just still out there, being a good teammate, high fiving everyone coming out of the tunnel.
He's You have do they even need Russ? They got Jameis, man. He's your hype man. He's
He
the
is. He
he's
is.
the he's the big preacher in the church. Like you don't need Russ. Just get rid of that guy. I will say though, this is a tough one for a rookie offensive year. These rookies, there are some good ones. You got T.J. Warren that is putting up great numbers at tight end for Indy right now. Loveland had a great game today. Like
Yep.
you got Quentin Junkins. If he didn't miss those days before, that guy was running the ball. He just has to be off this week. I mean, the offensive class that got drafted this year is showing up, man, big time. Like they're playing well. There wasn't a lot of misses this year.
No, there wasn't. And a lot of guys are stepping in and filling roles that were needing to be filled immediately. And I mean, it seems like the transition from college to NFL is just that line is getting smaller and smaller as far as, the waiting period. Before we had quarterbacks who would, get drafted, but their role was to sit for 2 to 3 years because the guy who that they had was still winning them games, was still producing well. It was a veteran quarterback. They were just planning for 5 years down the road.
Yeah.
Now you have guys coming in and they're taking on the leadership of this entire team, and some of these guys aren't really given the best situation. I mean, look at what, um, I mean, look at what the guy who you said, Jackson Dart. He's not been given the best situation. New York Giants aren't anything to be like wowed about off of paper, right? And now he's still producing and he's still rallying the guys and competing in all of these games without really the two the two other monsters on that offensive side, Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatabo. So it's just like this guy is taking on the weight of this entire franchise, and he's doing a hell of a job with it.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even talked about Aston Genty. He's not having a bad year. He's probably
Nope.
not having the year that a lot of folks would think, but I mean, given his situation, R.J. Harvey or Marion Hampton before he got hurt. Man, even Sectorio McMillan from Carolina is having a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a great offensive class. So for a Mecca to be essentially leading this, it just shows how well he's doing or how good he is.
It is, yeah, and the guy is definitely different. But that's our offensive rookies of the year. Let us know down there in the comment section who you have. Carlos, let's go ahead and flip over to the defensive side of the ball. This is where I'm going to get a lot of hate. So I want to hear who you have because I'm sure that I could probably pick a couple of names because those couple of names are pretty the popular favorites. But I'm going to go with someone different. But I want to hear who you have for the defensive rookie of the year.
I mean, mine right now is Carson Schlesinger from Cleveland. The guy is playing outside his mind. He does have a few benefits. He's got Mason Graham, Myles Garrett in front of him, so for him to play that linebacker position. But he leads the team in tackles. He's rated right now the 10th best overall linebacker in football. So he's grading out number 10. Yeah, I mean, leads that team in tackles. Like I say, he does get the luxury, but and he's played, man. He's played 8% of the snaps, but he does not look I forgot he was a rookie, and I was watching the Browns game, and I'm like, Schlesinger, hey, man, he's been in the league a little bit, and I was like, oh, I forgot about him, and I was like, wait a minute, no, this guy's a rookie. He is killing it with the Browns. I mean, it just adds another defensive guy that they're able to plug in there and just keep. The only thing that keeps them relevant is that defense. But yeah, I mean, the guy's having a great year. I think he's going to end up leading that team in tackles and probably end up top 15 in tackles overall in football.
Look at the Cleveland Browns getting some love here on the Beardzone podcast, sir. I actually was not expecting you to pick that guy, although I have seen his name around because he has absolutely been playing a phenomenal job there in Cleveland. Again, he does have the help of the Myles Garrett. Yes, of course. Anytime you have someone like that on the front line, your job gets a little bit easier for sure. So, but some of the names that have been passed around is Jahad Campbell from the Philadelphia Eagles. You have Abdul Carter, obviously one of the most. He was probably going to be the number one overall pick. Any other year outside of this year because there was just so much talent going on. He's there in New York with Jackson Dart, who we mentioned, and man, the Giants here in a few years, Carlos. I don't know, man. They might be someone to watch out for. I mean, because honestly, if you look at the division, it always seems like that division just gets flip flopped, every couple of years. It's the Eagles, it's the Cowboys, it's the Giants. Even now you have to consider the Commanders because of what Jaden Daniels is doing there with Washington. So I don't know. Watch out for New York. And then also you also have Nick Emenworry from the Seattle Seahawks, who is playing very well. But there's a guy who is not getting enough recognition, and it's probably because of the team that he's on, and it's probably because he's not the showstopper. He wasn't one of the top overall picks. This guy was actually a third-round pick, and I'm going to go a little bit biased here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers third-round pick, and that's Jacob Parrish from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This guy, he needs to start getting a little bit more recognition for what he's doing. The guys who I just mentioned, Caleb, Carter, and Emenworry combined have a half a sack, 5 total tackles, 4 pass breakups, and 83 tackles combined. Meanwhile, Jacob Parrish alone has 2 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 3 pass defenses, and 37 tackles. He's been playing out of his mind in the slot there. He's been making big plays. I love how he wraps up. He's a corner that we don't really see anymore in the NFL, and that's guys who actually really wrap up and tackle and do a really good job at that. Jacob Parrish is someone who I truly believe should start getting some recognition for the play that he is doing, and that is why I'm giving him the love here on the show today. Yes, it is a little bit biased. I understand that. But listen, man, the numbers are saying it here. He's playing very well.
He is. It's not a name I would have even thought of him being up in that. But you're right. He does deserve some consideration, maybe a little bit more talks. But I will say this 2025 draft, man, a lot of players are playing well. And
yes.
And you look at another corner, Will Johnson out of Michigan, which so many people passed up on, is having another good year, man. He's having a good year. And it's tough. I'm going through this list of players and just in this first round, and I can only see like 3, maybe 4 names that are kind of like maybe not first rounders. Where a Parrish probably deserved that round over a couple. But man, if you're hitting 25 to 28 out of the first round, that these players are like, yep, this playing well, because we even forgot about Travis Hunter in there. Yeah. And then these offensive linemen are all clicking. It's crazy that this draft. I mean, the good thing is one of the misses is my own Miami Dolphins. So I appreciate the missing. Thank you. Greer is gone because there's so many names after this Kenneth Grant that we could have taken. Like, who would have wanted Tyler Warren? Who would have wanted a pass catching, run blocking monster? I mean, that's not Miami. Why would you want that?
No, why would you want to add more weapons to an offense that should be producing double of what they already are?
Yeah, so I mean, who would want to make a Buka or Marion Hampton? Hell, I would take Jackson Dart right now. Like, I mean, really, I would have taken. Let me tell you, Josh Simmons going 32 to Kansas City. I would have taken that pick at where we picked up. I mean, that guy's playing good as well, too. So,
yeah.
You know.
He is. Well, let us know down there in the comment section who you think your defensive player or defensive rookie of the year is. Carlos, let's go ahead and let's move on to our last little segment here, which is the segment that I'm most excited for. Well, actually, we got 2, but this is the segment that I've been looking for leading up to this recording. And that's going to be the biggest surprises and the biggest disappointments of the year, whether it be individual play or team play. Who do you have as the biggest disappointment of the year?
Well, I don't have to go very far. You know what? Honestly, so far, if there's a team that goes in with a ton of hype Uh, for me, it's the Baltimore Ravens. At the beginning of the year, we're talking Super Bowl team, possibly winner, to a team now that oddly they're 3-5. I get it. Lamar goes down. That shows the importance, but it's not like they were killing it when Lamar was in there. I mean, they were struggling. So, for me, it's them, and it's a tough one because there's a couple other teams out there that I'm like, man, you should be much better. And one is my Miami Dolphins, of course.
Right. Yeah. No, I know. I was.
Yeah.
I kind of gave you that one because I was ready to hear a good rant, but I'm glad that you stuck behind your boys and you were like, I'm not gonna drag them through the mud. I'm just gonna pass it off to the team that just beat them on Thursday night.
That's true, but we weren't considered to be a Super Bowl team. Like, if you looked at that defense,
true. That is true.
They have had some injuries, I get it, but still disappointment. I don't want to hear it from them. But it's disappointing for a team that you looked at the beginning of the year is going to win their division. That defense was solid. Luckily, that division is nobody can pull away from on there. But the Dolphins as well are very great. My therapist said to keep conversations about Dolphins to a minimum. And when I think of them, think of the '90s and Dan Marino, and think they're always better.
Hey, for all you Dolphins fans, just remember use discount code TUA for your next therapy session, and you will be taken care of. We are looking for a sponsor, so BetterHelp, if you see this, let us know.
You can use that same promo code at every smash room across the country, and you can go in and start breaking the shit everywhere, and that works as well too. So
that works just as well. Just be sure to sign the concussion waiver before going in. So my biggest disappointment, Carlos, you're right. It should be a team that is, talked about, has high expectations coming into this year. And I feel like that this team is always a team that is considered to be a powerhouse, and it's because of the quarterback who they have. But yet, time and time again, this franchise continues to put money where they shouldn't put it. And that is the Cincinnati Bengals. You have Joe Burrow as a quarterback. You have probably one of the most talented quarterbacks when he is healthy, and a quarterback, the only other active quarterback in the NFL right now to beat Patrick Mahomes outside of Jalen Hurts, because he took that as well last year in the Super Bowl, but in the playoffs. You are the team that should. You have Jamar Chase. You decided to sign T. Higgins. You went back and forth with Trey Hendrickson, and he is still rumored coming up to this trade deadline to be shopped around. You have zero offensive line. There has been no good years with Joe Burrow outside of the 1 year back in 2021, 2022 when you guys lost to the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl. And it shouldn't be, but you are now 3-6. This is starting to become one of those franchises that is wasting the talent. Joe Burrow is the next Andrew Luck. He has no protection. He is running for his life. Injuries are going to send him into an early retirement. And quite frankly, I don't blame him. This team, this entire franchise needs to get their act together. Pay where you can pay. I understand paying Jamar Chase, but to pay T. Higgins as a number one wide receiver on top of that as well, come on. You can spread that money elsewhere. And your defensive side of the ball, you're the worst defense in the NFL.
Bad.
Literally, you're the worst defense in the NFL. Your franchise quarterback had an MVP year last year by a landslide, but he wasn't even considered because the amount of 40-point games that he put up last year for you guys, that it didn't matter because the other team outscored you guys some way, somehow. So the Cincinnati Bengals, you guys are always going to be talked about as a contender because you have Joe Burrow, but yet you are wasting his talent because you choose not to sign the what he needs, and that is
Offensive line would help.
Just offensive line and just some form of a defense. I mean, good God, man. Try and just stop and to go back and forth with that whole Trey Hendrickson thing. You guys deserve to be 3-6, and Joe Burrow deserves better.
Yeah, no, you hit that. Yeah, 100%. You're right.
No word.
I don't know what to even say. Like, you're right. Like, you go out, and I think Higgins is great, but he's not. You can't pay two guys $30+ million. You just can't do that, and then pay your quarterback, and then think that you're gonna. Yeah, I mean they can't. Like they're bad signings. They got to figure out some defense. Yeah, it sucks for that guy because he's a hell of a quarterback.
He really is. He is absolutely a hell of a quarterback. So, Carlos, let's go ahead and move to the most surprising team or individual play again. It doesn't have to necessarily be a team, but who do you have as the biggest surprise this year?
The good thing is one of my bigger surprise players that's doing so well, and the team are both on the same team. And I know what you think I'm gonna say. I know, but you're wrong.
I am. Okay.
It is the New England Patriots leading the AFC at 7-2. Drake May is dark. I don't even know if you call him dark horse MVP candidate. This guy is killing it. They haven't lost a game on the road this year, and like I said, they're leading the AFC East, which has been owned by the Buffalo Bills. But this team, the defense, it smells like Mike Vrabel's team. It looks like his team, and Drake May, bro, this guy, he's what I thought. Yeah, he's what I thought coming out of college. This is what we saw at North Carolina. I love what was the GM? There was a GM that passed out, the Bears. And the Bears, somebody said that when watching tape of Drake May that he was laughing at Drake May. It would never draft him. Drake May is going to be the best quarterback coming out of that class. I take it back. I said it was Caleb Woods. It's not Jaden Daniels. It's nobody else out of that class. It is Drake May's class. He is head and shoulders better than those guys. He throws, he runs, he's smart. And if you look, he's not doing it with a ton of weapons. This team, it's Mike Vrabel football. They got Stephon Diggs. He's good. Trevion's, Rondé's. I mean, but if you look at it, there's no blaring like superstar that they got, but they got one in the making for sure. But that New England team, man, it's for real, and AFC better watch out. That could be the Super Bowl team that representative for us in the Super Bowl.
Wow. I like that. And I'm not mad at it because you're right. Drake May is playing at a hell of a level right now. And with the weapons that he has, I mean, let's be honest, he doesn't have a whole lot of, big time. I mean, I understand if Stephon Diggs is there, but this isn't Stephon Diggs of when he was with Josh Allen. This isn't Stephon Diggs when he was in Minnesota. This is, couple of years now. And he's now towards the later part of his, career here. But the New England Patriots, 7-2, you're right. They're winning on the road, which is huge. And so, yeah, I mean, I was not expecting it. I knew Drake May took a big step in the right direction there towards the end of last year, and he's really just kind of carried it over. I mean, I'm very impressed with what he is doing. And let's not be too surprised. I've heard a couple of rumor mills for the trade deadline that New England might be going out and trying to get someone like dare I say, Jalen Waddle from the Miami Dolphins.
I'm telling you right now, if that trade happens, unless it is something ridiculous like 2 first-round picks, I'm 4 hours from Miami. I will do questionable things. Questionable. You do not trade a player of that caliber to your division rival. And everybody in that division hates each other. There's no love for any team. We could care less if the whole Buffalo Stadium implodes with snow. Doesn't matter. Same thing for New England. No, that trade better not happen.
I've heard it rumored. That's all I'm gonna say. That is all I'm gonna say. Carlos, I'm sitting here and you did the little teaser, with the quarterback and the team. They're on the same. They're playing well. This is looking like a year that, no one saw coming. And we all thought it was going to, we were all thinking Indianapolis Colts, this is what this guy's going to go with. You threw the curveball. You said the New England Patriots. You like it. I'm sitting here. I'm thinking, who? Do do I go to Indianapolis Colts then, or do I do someone who maybe isn't getting the attention? Should I be different? Should I stand out? No, I'm gonna stick with the Indianapolis Colts because let's be very real. No one saw the Colts being 7-2 here at the halfway point of this year, and none other led by Daniel Jones. They lost to Pittsburgh today. They were able to stuff, Jonathan Taylor, but good Lord, this team and their defense is playing very well as well. I mean, today was a little bit weird, in Pittsburgh, but let's not take anything for granted. This Indianapolis Colts team, led by Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor, is incredible. And then you have Michael Pittman Jr., who is playing very well this year, and then you also have offensive rookie candidate TJ. Dude, he is that guy's a football player through and through. So,
Man,
but this team overall, man, has the makings to be there at the end of the year. I mean, they really do, Carlos. I mean, they have a solid defense who can keep them in any game, and they have an offense that was the number one offense going into today's game against the Steelers. So, I mean, let's not discount what the Colts are doing. And I mean, they have the Jim Irsay, passing at the beginning of the year. They're wearing his initials there on their jerseys this year. You have the new owner; she's down on the sidelines taking notes. Everyone seems to love her. Like, I mean, this team has all the energy and the right momentum going into the second half of this year. Indianapolis Colts are they're a glaring bright spot there in the AFC where I'm going, man. Could you imagine road to Levi Stadium is through Indianapolis? I could see it. I could truly see it.
I mean, it's good. Like you said, they got. I mean, that guy, he was one of the most beloved owners. If you talk about a team that loved its owners,
yeah,
and an owner who loved this team, I think that's probably most important. He loved being the Colts owner and always did what was right for the players and the fans, which is not the case in many, as much as we may think that they're doing, but they're not. But they do. You potentially could have the leading running back and quarterback in off, when it comes to yardage. But yeah, man, they got that. They got that one thing going for them. I would be surprised if they don't make a long run in the playoffs. I would be very much surprised, but they are going to have to get through New England, which is going to be tough, or Buffalo. There's going to be some tough stuff coming around for them. I'm trying to think of who they got coming up. Man, they got the Chiefs in 2 weeks. We'll see then. I mean, the Chiefs are always going to be tough, and the Texans defense. So they got back-to-back games coming up. We'll have to see. Because after that, they're probably going to run the table. This is probably going to be a 13-14 win team by the season's done.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I mean, look out for the Colts. That's all I'm going to say. Definitely look out for the Colts. Dude, the AFC is just loaded. I mean, it's incredible. The amount of talent that is on that side of the ball. I mean, there's so many teams. You have the Broncos who are still up there. I mean, you have the Patriots, the Colts, obviously. Let's not discount what the Chargers are doing as well. I mean, I know that Chiefs are 5-4 and they're technically in the playoff hunt, but they're going to be there. I mean, they have a top 5 defense and offense. I mean, they're the only team that has a top 5 defense and offense in the NFL right now. So, but yeah, and then of course, the Buffalo Bills. So, but Carlos, let's go ahead and let's go to the grand finale. Who is your Super Bowl? What's your Super Bowl prediction halfway through the year now? Now that we have a good idea of what these teams bring, this year.
It's tough. I'm a Stafford fan. I don't know if I can put them quite in yet. So I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to go Detroit Lions. I think there's still enough in there for them to make it. I know they lost today. Man, I can't believe I'm going to say it's going to be the Detroit Lions and New England Patriots.
Wow. Jared Goff versus Drake May.
And
Dude, Dan Campbell versus Mike Vrabel Super Bowl. I would love to see that media week with those two guys. That would be awesome.
This is a standoff. It'd be like a UFC standoff there, and it's just like, ooh, that's gonna be tough. But I mean, I'm looking at this schedule for the Patriots. I mean, they got the Bucks next week, so we'll see there. But I mean, they've got Jets, Bengals, win, Giants win, Ravens and Bills at the end of the year. You know, I figure they'll probably split that. But man, yeah, I'm going with those two guys, and I'm gonna say the Lions end up taking it.
All right. Detroit with their first Super Bowl victory this year. It has been the very favorite team over the last couple of years. Hey, look, at the end of the day, if your team isn't in the playoffs and the Detroit Lions are in the playoffs, they're your team at that point. That seems how it goes here. But I would not be mad at a Mike Vrabel and Dan Campbell Super Bowl. That would be incredible. That would be absolutely incredible. So, Carlos, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to hold any punches right now. My Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 6-2. They're 6-2. Baker Mayfield is playing out of his mind, and they're completely banged up. They have this week to get healthy. They have 3 games after this bye week. The Patriots, the Bills, and then the Rams. All potential Super Bowl contenders here over the next 3 weeks. After that, write it as wins. They're gonna go. They can lose the next 3 games. They can potentially be a 13-4, 12-5 team in the NFC, which could be enough to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. We'll see what happens. But you had these stretch of games, but you have those last few games. You have those last 6 weeks where they'll probably be healthy. They're going to start and click on all the cylinders. They're going to go into the playoffs hot, and I think it's going to ride them all the way to Levi Stadium out there in San Francisco. And I'm going to have them going up against the next best thing for a story and a comeback, and that's the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to have a Baker Mayfield and a Daniel Jones Super Bowl 61 now?
You know and with that in the halftime show, you know what that sounds like to me?
Not at all. What are you talking about? Baker Mayfield and Daniel Jones? What are you talking about? There is no way. Come on now. Look, just because your team isn't even close to making a Super Bowl doesn't mean that you have to hate on the 6-2 Bucks. I know what everyone wants to say. Oh, well, they lost to Detroit. Oh, well, they lost to, the Eagles. They barely scraped by the Jets. This team is banged up right now, man.
Why? They're about to go 0-3.
They're not. They're not going to go 0-3.
Vrabel's going to come in there, and he's going to smell the blood. And then he's just going to dig in there and start pouring salt on wounds. And then you got Buffalo coming in, and you got to handle Josh Allen, and those guys, and then Matthew Stafford's just going to come in and be like, "This is all banged up. I know what to do from here. Let's throw 40 up on you." But the consolation is you have a line of slump busters on the back end, so you're good.
There you go. So, and we will take that hot hand down there for this stretch. I think it's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Indianapolis Colts. I'm not mad at it. I would not be mad at it. Obviously, I had the Bucks winning. I'm not going to go against my team. They're 6-2. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? I still believe.
I have a question because we almost saw another tie today, which I hate that the NFL. Can the Super Bowl tie?
No.
Yeah, no.
No, they'll eventually get to a sudden death. I mean, I'm sure that there's a rule out there that we don't know about, which makes us great podcast hosts. But there's, I mean. I don't think so, man. There's no way that it's not going to be a tie Super Bowl, and they need to change the rules for the tiebreaker. I mean, we can't have it. We just cannot have it.
Nobody wants to go and I'm so glad the Raiders went for the win. I mean, that's that's definitely a Pete Carroll thing, but he could, yeah. Ties are. I can't say what I
Yeah,
want
but
to do.
still, it's just like, hey, go for the win. If you lose, at least you went for it, right?
No, I'm
So
fine with his decision, and they lose, but I'm
yeah.
fine with it. Yeah, he wants to tie.
And it was another thing where he had Ashton Jincy in the backfield and he chose not to run it. So it's another beautiful thing. It's just 100% Pete Carroll.
That's Pete Carroll.
It's Pete
Yeah,
Carroll.
all
He's
right.
not going to run for it. He's going to go. He's going to throw for it. So, but
Yeah,
Geno Smith, nonetheless. So, but
I mean, bro.
Brock Bowers had a hat trick today, so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
blame him. So, but well, hey, if you're new here to the Beardzone Sports Talk, this was a fun episode. We hope that you enjoyed as much as we did recording it. Come back. We're here every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Wednesdays are our college episode. We're going to be talking about the Miami Hurricanes and the Florida State Seminoles. Been a rough week for Miami fans. I'm just going to tell you that. SMU, man, they lost that. Hey, you know what though? Florida State, great win against Wake Forest, and we will get on to all of it there on Wednesday. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and then come back on Friday when we talk about our main teams, the Bucks and the Miami Dolphins, and we will look at seeing how the Bucks are going to handle Drake May and the very hot New England Patriots coming off of this bye week. So do us a favor, follow us on all of our social medias. It is down there in the description below. And until Wednesday,